Oh, hello there. I didn't see you. I was so focused at looking one of my old sketchbooks. This is actually the very first sketchbook that I ever filled. You can see that it is very, very thick. Today I want to show you 4 ways on how you can fill your sketchbook. And I wanted to remind you that filling a sketchbook is really awesome. Because I have this sketchbook now and I can look at it years later. In my new sketchbook course, I talk all about everything that I have learned from sketchbooks and why you should have one, and most importantly, how to actually finish filling it. Check out the link in the description box below to get to the course. Now let's get started with the 4 sketchbook ideas for today. I'm using my Moleskine watercolor sketchbook, which by the way is almost filled. We're getting there, so there's gonna be a tour at one point, and I'm starting with some street lamps. That might sound a little bit weird, but I saw that on Pinterest. Someone did that completely differently than I did it here, but they painted street lamps. And I was intrigued. I thought, why not? They kind of look interesting. So I searched up a bunch of different ones, and you can see that I'm using watercolors. These are the White Nights watercolors. I really like them because they're very pigmented, and I like the small set that I have here. And I started to color all of these street lights, and I started with the light in the middle, and my idea was that the only colors that are on there are basically the lights and the sky around them. You will see what I mean. And I just started with these circles, but not perfect circles at all. I wanted it to look very sketchy. That's the wrong word. You know what I mean. Like, it's not really that perfect. It's just doodly. Maybe that's the word, but sketchy was definitely not the right word. But whatever, you can see I started with yellow in the middle, then used orange tones, moved on to more pink tones, and then I started with the purple, but I realized it was way too dark, so I couldn't see my pencil lines anymore, so I moved on to doing the pen actually, so I wouldn't lose all of my sketches. You can do the sketches much darker, but I didn't want to risk that because I didn't want them to be too visible after putting on the watercolor. So I just went back and forth, made sure that my pen was waterproof, and now you can see that I am adding in the purple bits as well for the sky. And then I went on and added more details with the pen, as you can see here. And I didn't want to completely color everything in, but I wanted the lanterns, the street lamps, whatever you want to call them, I wanted to make them a little bit darker and make them pop a little bit more against the background, so you can see here and there colored stuff in, added in some more details, and yeah, made them a little bit more interesting as well. And I think this was a really fun idea, to be honest. Then I added in some white gouache for some skies. You could also use a gel pen or whatever medium you have that is opaque and a light color. And that was the entire idea for the page. And I think it was really fun because I don't think I've done that before. Like, it's a really new idea this time. And then I moved on to the right side, and here I am actually sketching a book. And I recently got back into reading when I realized I'm allowed to read books that are not meant for my age group. Like, did you know you're allowed to read books that are meant for kids and teenagers even when you're 26? Like, I recently had this epiphany. I loved reading when I was a kid, and then the books got more exhausting. They had so many pages. There's no pictures, nothing fun about them. And I heard this kind of life hack in a way, that people with ADHD often really benefit from using things that are meant for kids. And so I also saw that they're reading books meant for kids, and I thought, why not give it a go? I mean, it for sure is better than scrolling on my phone for hours on end. Is the book that I'm reading super highly intellectual? No, probably not, but it's still better than watching Netflix, or at least sometimes. It's better than watching Netflix depending on what you watch, but it's better than watching another trashy show. So I gave it a go and I got myself a book that's meant for like 12-year-olds, and the main character is actually 11. So it was a little bit weird at first, but I got into it, and it's a fantasy book and it's super magical and it's really fun. And now I bought 3 more books and I really want to read again, actually. And it's fun and it doesn't take forever to read such a book. And it's an easy read, and you are allowed to do that. I just wanted to share that with you all because maybe this is also something that could help you, because who cares if it's meant for your age group as long as it's fun. You can see that I painted this magical book. And for the next idea, I painted some snakes, and I also have a little story about this because when I drew these snakes, I remembered back that when I was 15, I had this friend who was terrified of snakes, but I grew up like I was a very outdoorsy kind of kid, and we had a lot of snakes where I lived, and not really dangerous snakes, but like some of them shed because snakes do that when they grow. And so I found a snake skin here and there lying around and actually kept one of them in a drawer. And my friend, who was terrified of snakes, was looking for something in that drawer when she came over. I was like, it's over there in this drawer. I didn't even think about the snake skin. And she opened that, and there it was, the snake skin. And she was absolutely terrified, and I was laughing so hard. It was so funny to me because, I mean, looking back, I can see how weird it is to have a snake skin in your drawer, but back then it was the most normal thing for me. I also had a shelf, a little mini shelf with dead bugs and stuff on it, and yeah, looking back, that's definitely weird. I was the weird friend, but I thought she was. And I thought it was really fun to chase her around with that snake skin. And yes, I was 15. I wasn't like 6 or 8. I was 15, but I was still kind of a kid. And it was really funny to me. I don't know why. But now looking back, I can see how maybe I was the weird friend and not her. But yeah, that's a little thing that I thought about while I was sketching these little snakes. I was using alcohol markers. This is not marker paper, like this is watercolor paper, so of course they're a little bit splotchy. I was expecting that, but I just didn't feel the paints for this one. I wanted to use markers and colored pencils, so I used the stuff that was in Jessa's art kit, and I really wanted to use that again anyways because it's been lying around for a while, so I used that. And the colored pencils were giving me a little bit of a hard time because the color that I liked most kept on breaking when I sharpened it. But here is the finished snake picture. Let me know in the comments down below if you like snakes or not, if you're terrified or if you like them. And on the left side, I actually asked you all on Instagram what I should paint next, and someone said a lava lamp, and I was intrigued. I thought this sounds fun. This sounds like it's right up my alley, so I painted 5 lava lamps because why only do 1 when you can do 5, like in different colors. So fun. And I also did some little blobs around it, so the page is a little bit more filled and it looks even more fun. And I colored them in and of course added these little blobs in the middle. I have no clue how a lava lamp works, but I once saw in a video that apparently nobody knows how lava lamps work because this is really kept as a secret or something. I don't know if that's true, But yeah, you can see that I started with the ones on the left, the 4 ones on the left. I started with the lighter color at first, and the one on the right, I painted around the bubbles at first and did those later. I don't know which technique I like more, but yeah, I had to wait for everything to dry, to go back and yeah, add all of these layers. And the lamps themselves, in all of the pictures that I looked up, they were silver, but I wasn't really feeling the silver vibe, so I decided to make them golden. I just used this very warm color. And you can see here now I was painting around it. And now I am using my neon watercolors because I thought that the other watercolors, they're very pigmented, but they were not bright enough for lava lamps. They tend to be super neon and fun colors, so I needed more of that. And so I decided to add my neon watercolors. This was the perfect opportunity for that. And I colored in all of the lighter tones with the neon colors, and this really made it pop. By the way, I got those from an Etsy store. I will try to link the store in the description box below if I can still find where I got it. I think it was called Teapot Design, and I really like those watercolors. I put them in a different tin. They came in like a wooden box that was cute but not really functional for watercolors, so I put them in this tin. But I really like the watercolors themselves. And you can see that I'm now coloring everything in, and it is slowly but surely coming together. By the way, I never had a lava lamp. I always wanted one because they look so fun, but I never had one. Let me know if you do own or have ever owned a lava lamp. So those are the 2 questions of the day. Do you like snakes, and do you own a lava lamp? That would be really interesting to know. And also don't forget to check out my course, because this is your last chance to get the early bird offer. It's still 50% off until July 8th. And if you're watching this afterwards, you can still get the course. It is linked in the description box below. It is all about sketchbooks, and you will learn everything that you need to know about how to actually fill a sketchbook until you reach the last page and it is fully filled. So you can see I also added colored pencils here to just add a little bit more detail, and I finished off the background a little bit with them, and this is a really fun page. This was a very more kind of low pressure page. I didn't make it perfect or anything, and this is how this page spread turned out. If you like this video, please give it a thumbs up and please subscribe to my channel, and I'll see you again next time. Goodbye!